Icons transcend the boundaries of time. Rare strings that run from the past, through the present, and on into the future. Such is the Indian Scout, a true American icon that not only established the gold standard for motorcycle performance, but remains the visual inspiration for virtually every American cruiser to follow. But the Scout's legacy goes beyond its timeless silhouette. It was forged by legends and legendary achievements, creating epic stories worth telling. From Ed Kretz's Daytona 200 victory in 1937, to the dominant Indian Wrecking Crew in the early 50s, to Burt Munro's land speed record in 1967, Scout is the centerpiece to motorcycling's most revered stories, passed on through generations of riders. But the Indian Scout is by no means a thing of the past. It remains Indian motorcycles' most popular model to this day, a driving force for Indian motorcycles' return to prominence and relevance over the last 10 years. Indian Scout riders know, when you're riding a Scout, you're riding an icon. You're sharing the road with legends, fully alive and fully present while riding headfirst into the future. Your future, creating stories that will define you and your lifetime. Driven by its original founder's spirit of innovation and constant improvement, Indian Motorcycle continues to push the Scout's history forward. I'm Morgan Gales, and as someone that's spent a career writing about motorcycles and motorcycle history, I am honored to be here to help usher in a new era for the Indian Scout. Today, we unveil the all-new, reimagined and re-engineered Indian Scout lineup, designed to ensure that Scout's iconic status is not only preserved, but propelled for generations of riders to come. With that, let's unveil the future. I give you the all-new 2025 Indian Scout lineup. The Indian Scout Classic, Scout Bobber, Sport Scout, Super Scout, and the brand new 101 Scout. Each powered by an entirely new motor, steel tube frame, and a host of new features throughout. The all-new lineup takes Indian Scout performance to new heights, while preserving the unmistakable design aesthetic that has been the Scout's calling card for more than a century. Only Indian Motorcycle could redefine the American cruiser by reinventing the most timeless model of its past. A bike born from icons and ridden by legends.
Some say history repeats itself. And to that we say, are you satisfied? Well, good. Because we have a history of icons, of champions, and legendary firsts that proves we're never done making history. Introducing the all-new Indian Scout. A machine more than 100 years in the making, heralded by the return of the legendary 101 Scout. With its harmonic blend of style and substance, where iconic American design, rider-focused technology, and spirited performance work together to create an unrivaled balance of power and control. All this delivered to you in our newly designed 1250cc engine. Forged from our competitive spirit, for you to make your own history. Born from icons, ridden by legends. the all-new Indian Scout.
Leveraging the timeless style and perfect proportions that are part of the Scout's DNA, the all-new Indian Scout has evolved into the most capable cruiser available. With a fully redesigned V-twin engine, perfectly tucked into a next-generation tubular steel frame, this new platform's iconic style shines and provides options to fit any aesthetic. The Scout has always featured an unmatched combination of power and control, with the raw torque and nimble handling you need when you're wanting to get on the throttle and really get after it. Plus, the comfort and amenities to cruise as a daily commuter. And this new Scout simply takes all of that and builds on it, beginning with the next generation 1250cc liquid-cooled V-twin that delivers more than 100 horsepower and north of 82 foot-pounds of torque, all of which are paired with the 6-speed transmission that delivers responsive and smooth power to pass just about anyone, anywhere. As for comfort, the Scout has the lowest seat height in the Indian lineup, which in turn results in a lower center of gravity. And when you pair that with standard forward controls, you're left with a stable and confident riding position. But we're not all built the same, and for that reason, Genuine Indian Motorcycle Factory Accessories offer over 30 separate ergonomic combinations, thanks to various seat, handlebar, and foot control options. You can't reach back into the past and pull it into the future without a healthy dose of technology, and the new Scout platform offers a ton of usable tech designed around the needs of modern riders. In fact, Indian Motorcycle is offering 3 different trim levels for each Scout model, depending on your riding needs. Speaking of choices, Indian has developed its most robust and diverse accessory lineup to date for this new Scout platform, with more than 100 factory accessories available. Whether you're looking for premium style, increased comfort, dedicated function, or a combination of them all. But enough of listening to me tell you about this all-new Indian Scout platform. Today, we're joined by 2 individuals who have been instrumental in the development of this next-generation lineup: Indian Motorcycle Director of Industrial Design Ola Stenegard and Product Director Ben Lindemann. Ola is going to explain the motivations and inspiration that guided the design process, and Ben's going to give us a blow-by-blow breakdown of each of the 5 models in the lineup. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
So, Ola, you are a true motorcycle historian, as much an expert as you are a student in this field. What was it like being tasked to redesign such an iconic motorcycle? I mean, dude, it's the Indian Scout.
It's a huge deal. I mean, it's the new Scout. You know, we had to honor the original Scout. It was one of the very cornerstones in our history. But we also had to find ways to improve the current Scout. That's one of our most successful motorcycles in our lineup today. So if you put those 2 together, that's a pretty challenging task.
What were the key factors and motivators for your design team coming into this project? I mean, I imagine you all had a ton of pressure on you.
Huge pressure. We felt it. But we knew that it was going to be an exercise in the fine art of evolution, not revolution. On one hand, we knew that we can lean on our history. We have a lot of iconic bikes. And we had also learned a lot from customizers, from customers, from dealers. So when you put all that on the table, that gave us the confidence to get us going.
And now, when you look at the final product here, what are the design aspects? What about this really stands out to you?
I think it really came together well. But there's a couple of things that really stand out when I look at the bike. First, when you see it from afar, we maintain some of those very iconic lines, like that curve going from the neck down through the shock to the rear axle. Then, of course, we introduced that S-line on the down tubes. And I think that's a really cool line. It stands out from very far away. You can look at it 100 yards away. No other bike has that line. And it links us straight back to our heritage. When you get a bit closer, you start to see all the bodywork. It's a brand new tank. Everything is new fender, new seat. And we cleaned it up a little bit. The surfaces has a bit more tension. They're a little bit rounder. And there's a lot of detail in those surfaces. The feature lines, they come and go. They fade in, they fade out. You have a lot of tension, a lot of soul in the surfaces. And then when you get up on the bike and you sit on it, you really start to appreciate our obsession with details. All the nuts and bolts, everything, fit, finish, part lines, it's gotta be perfect. It's based on performance, it's a timeless design, it's clean, and last but not least, it's made to customize.
I mean, it's very impressive work by you and your team. I think the final product shows your passion, and this was a real labor of love for your design team. So great job, amazingly well done. Now, let's get into each one of these new Scouts, and for that, we turn to our man, Ben Lindeman. Ben, can you dive into these for us?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Let's do it, man.
I want to talk about the platform updates that we've made to all the models. Let me start out first with the 1250 Speed Plus engine. The new 1250 Speed Plus is 1,250 cc's, it's 111 horsepower and 82 foot-pounds of torque. That's an 11% increase in power and a 14% increase in torque. What's awesome about that torque increase is it's a really flat torque curve with no torque dips, which makes the acceleration extremely predictable and smooth. Basically, throughout the RPM range, we're 14% higher than current Scout today, and you'll really notice that. What's also cool about that is we've got ride modes. For a new rider, they're still very comfortable on the bike. They can use rain mode. Standard mode is very similar to today's Scout, and sport mode is fun for everybody.
So looking at the engine, you see a bit more refinement in the heads. Ola, talk to me a bit about the appearance of the new engine.
Yeah, I mean, not only internally is everything new, but also externally is new. We reskinned the whole motor. We made it a little bit less industrial looking. It's a little bit more cruiser-like, so to speak. And it takes a lot of cues from the Challenger, because after all, they are, liquid-cooled siblings. For me, the motor is the heart, right?
Right.
It's the heart of an American motorcycle.
We spent a lot of time on the packaging of that radiator. You can see how clean that is, how much we paid attention to every little detail on that. And like Ola also mentioned, the new tubular design makes it really easy to customize.
The way that we could tuck the radiator in between the down tubes, when you look at it in side view, it just takes a ton of weight visually out of the design. Of course, we could then really emphasize that sweet S-line that we like so much. The other line that is super important for us is, of course, the shock. No one else is doing that. This is our thing. It's iconic. We even brought it over to the Chief platform, but it also emphasizes that line that picks up from the neck and takes you all the way down to the rear axle. We were striving for going a bit away from that industrial look. It's a cleaner look. We made a nice little location for the badge, and it more ties into the bodywork than to the mechanical parts of the frame.
Yeah, and it was a really great opportunity for us to centralize all those components. One thing that we didn't want to do was we didn't want to have wires exposed. We didn't want to see any wires, and that's really in part to that design. The bodywork is all new. I want to start with the fuel tank. The fuel tank is actually larger fuel capacity. Capacity now is 3.4 gallons. We added a fuel gauge. We went to a more traditional fuel cap. We've got the console down the middle, and we've got a location for 2 accessory buttons for electrical accessories.
When I look at this tank, it's so much more than just a couple of surfaces. There's tension. We made it a little bit rounder now. It's a little bit sweeter. You see the sides are not so flat anymore. And also when you look at the lines, they're softer, they go sharper. There's so much attention to detail in every little line. This is also when we use very traditional mediums. Everything is modeled in clay, the old school way.
And I love the way that these ridges in the tank sort of make their way back to the rear fender, which obviously has new components and new structure there as well.
Yeah, although it may not look like it, that is a totally new rear subframe on the motorcycle. And we did that because we wanted to get to a common rear architecture. By doing that, it gave us maximum flexibility to do the different models that you see here today. So now all of the seats, all the saddlebags, all the backrests, everything for the rear of the motorcycle will fit between all of the different models. Let's talk a little bit about the new electrical architecture. Yeah. It's a modular system, meaning you can pick and choose the components you want. The new system is headlined by the new 4-inch digital round, cruise control, keyless ignition, ride modes, traction control, and LED lighting all around. It's a plug-and-play system. So a customer that buys a standard model can pick and choose the components that they would like to purchase. For example, if they want the keyless ignition, they can buy just the keyless ignition. If they want the digital round, they can get just the digital round display. We've also got 3 trim levels. Standard includes LED lighting, keyed ignition, ABS, and an analog display. The limited package includes cruise control, ride modes, traction control, and USB charging. And the Limited Plus Tech package includes digital round, keyless ignition, and connected rider.
And that ride command system that comes along with that 4-inch digital round offers so much for the rider. I mean, I've experienced it on the Chief platform, and navigation, Bluetooth audio control, you've got the ride modes and you've got this tech, but it's hidden in such a way that the only visible components are switches on the bars.
We talked a little bit earlier about comfort, and comfort was always at the forefront as we designed this platform. We talked about the lowest seat. It's the lowest seat height in the industry. We've also given the customer total flexibility. We've got over 30 different ergonomic combinations to meet the needs of any size rider. We've also got the forward controls. The forward controls are standard on all the models. We've got available mid controls as accessory, and we've got available floorboards as well. So then when we move up to the handlebars, we've got two different designs. We've got the integrated risers like we've had in the past on Scout, and new for this platform is the separate risers. It gives them flexibility for handlebar position. It also gives them style flexibility. Just the change in risers gives you a totally different look and feel on any given motorcycle.
This is the modern interpretation of an old school 40s bobber. Bob fenders, low handlebars, low slung, the nacelle. It really has all of those features that you see in those old post-war bobbers in all the old black and white pictures. This is inspired by an era that is super close to my heart. It's a post-war bobber era. Just like those old school bikes that you see from all the pictures from Hollister 47 and the Wild Ones, all those super cool motorcycles. Because those cats, they rode far and they rode hard. In a way, it was like the club bike of its era. We talked about the Super Scout before, being kind of inspired by, you know, the old school club bikes. Well, this one kind of completes the circle as the new school club bike. On this one, we really turned up the volume. Just like the name says, this is the most classic Scout that we have in our lineup. Of course, the most iconic is the fenders. It has that really Indian Scout sweep to them. This is also the bike that has, you know, the most iconic two-tone paint job. It has most chrome in the whole lineup. It has all those elements that really speaks to that buyer of a more traditional motorcycle.
The all-new 101 Scout. This bike has such a history and such a lineage, and we had so much to live up to that we really set a high standard for ourselves, and I think we delivered.
We're curators of this brand, right? For a short amount of time in its great history. And to add another chapter to the 101 Scout, that is a really big deal. And it's really been an honor to work on this bike.
Now, it's one thing to see these gorgeous bikes here in the studio, but of course, to really understand the value of this redesign and the hard work of this team, you have to get these bikes out on the road. The best part of this gig, getting out with Ola and Ben and seeing what these new Scouts can do. And for that, we decided to call up a couple of Indian Motorcycle's close friends. Two people who bring a truly high level of expertise and some incredible riding skills with them. Let's check it out.
Dude, no way.
Wow. I am pumped right now.
Hey guys, welcome.
Yo.
What's up, boys?
How are you?
All right.
Good to see you.
You good?
Great to see you. How are you? Here they are, guys.
That thing is insane.
I want this one, dude. I want this one.
The best part about today, guys, is you get to ride them all. We got some epic bikes to ride, so let's go to it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Man, couldn't have asked for a nicer day, huh?
That's awesome.
Vicky, what'd you think? First thoughts?
Oh my god, this thing's so nice. So easy to ride.
That's pretty effortless, really.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Very
just gonna say. It's so easy, just like the bike does all the work for you.
This thing, it's very intuitive.
Yeah, it's very centralized, low center of gravity, centralized mass, yeah.
It really is just buttery. It's so smooth. Like, if you want to ride it chill, it's so chill.
And gotta love coming around that bend and seeing the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, that's awesome. Reminds me of Minnesota.
You're using a lot of imagination, dude.
All right, first ride. What'd you guys think?
Insane.
Yeah, I'm
Insane.
impressed. Absolutely. I mean, the first thing that really stood out to me was very neutral handling. It felt very nimble and it reacted just as I expected with minimal input.
Exactly. I mean, I ride dirt bikes 24/7, and how easy it was, it felt literally just like a dirt bike. It was trippy.
You know, one of the surprises for me today was how much I like the Sport Scout. The riding position on that thing just suited me. But man, all the bikes to me were super easy to ride, really friendly. Everything handled great. To me, I can't help but want to change things when I ride anything that's stock, but there's not a lot to change, truthfully. They're fun motorcycles.
So what'd you guys think of the new Speed Plus 1250?
Feels great. I mean,
Yeah.
pulling out of the corners, it pulls really strong in the low revs, which is what you want with that traditional cruiser style engines.
You've definitely improved like the fueling and how the thing comes on throttle and off throttle. The horsepower is there when you want it, and I think
And in any gear.
any gear. I think you notice that for sure that the geometry is correct. The bike does what you want it to do when you want it to do it. I mean, you just kind of hit it out of the park, and building this low, comfortable, approachable bike that steers really well and feels agile, quick in the corners with the motor to match.
We are so thankful for you guys all joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
building
Yeah.
an incredible motorcycle and inviting us out.
Well, we're back here in the studio, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say that was a blast.
Man, that was so much fun.
That's exactly what I needed in my life, dude, to tell you the truth. The new bike's insane. It's been a long time coming for me to Ola to get back on the bike again together and ride. So to be on the new Scout, to experience the horsepower, it was a pleasant surprise to just be excited, stoked, and spinning tires and ripping down the road. So excellent.
Nice. Vicky, what stuck with you about the new product?
Oh man, I could not get enough of that 101. It was absolutely amazing. And coming from a motocross background, man, I felt right at home.
Born from icons and ridden by legends, it's the all-new Indian Scout lineup. For all the details on each of these incredible Scout models, visit IndianMotorcycle.com and be sure to follow Indian Motorcycle Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok channels. That's a wrap, everyone. Once again, I'm Morgan Gales, and it has truly been an honor to be a part of this historic day as we usher in a new era with the all-new, redesigned Indian Scout lineup. More than a century paving the path for modern American V-twins, motorcycling's most iconic riders, creating the epic stories that have lived on through generations of riders. On behalf of everyone at Indian Motorcycle, we invite you to share the road with these historic legends. Get out and ride on an all-new Indian Scout and create your own legendary stories.